A man convicted of raping and murdering a little girl is asking the state to carry out his death sentence fast. Now, Jeremy Williams could be moved to the top of Alabama's execution list, and it's because of a choice he's making himself. Williams was convicted of raping and killing 5-year-old Kamarie Holland, you see there, in December 2021. Her body found in a Phoenix City basement with a rope around her neck. The Alabama Court of Appeals has affirmed his conviction and death sentence. Williams fired his attorneys and requested a speedy execution, which Russell County District Attorney Rick Cheney says moves him to the front of the line ahead of inmates who've waited decades.
For $2,500, Kristy Siple sold her 5-year-old daughter to Jeremy Tremaine Williams. Williams took Kamarie Holland from Columbus, Georgia to a vacant house in Phoenix City, Alabama. He raped and strangled the child while recording the entire attack on his cell phone. Kamarie's body was found under a tarp at the abandoned house on December 13, 2021, the same day her mother reported her missing. Williams was convicted of capital murder and sentenced to death in April 2024. Now he's asking Alabama to execute him as quickly as possible. He has formally waived all appeals. Siple pleaded guilty to sex trafficking. She got 20 years in prison. The murder charge was dropped. Welcome to Beyond Guilty. On this channel, we go beyond the guilty verdict of the judicial system and lay bare human nature.
I'm Kamarie Holland's mommy, and she wouldn't want nothing in the world but to donate her toys to another little child that was in need because she was a very healthy child. We were at the gas station one time and we seen a family out there, and one of the little girls didn't have shoes on, and she said, "Mommy, we can help them, Mommy, because I have so many pair of shoes at home, Mommy. Let's give them my shoes, Mommy." And of course we gave them her shoes because she's that caring. She had a heart. She had a spirit that she's been here before, and she was a blessing. She is a blessing.
Kamarie Holland was 5 years old and lived in Columbus, Georgia with her father, Corey Holland Sr., who had custody after the divorce. Her family said she was loving, caring, and didn't view anyone as a stranger. Jeremy Tremaine Williams was 37 years old and lived in both Columbus, Georgia and Phoenix City, Alabama. He had been charged with child abuse in Phoenix City in 2009 and acquitted by a jury in 2012. He had another child abuse charge in Columbus with an unknown disposition. In 2005, he was a suspect in the death of his 1-month-old daughter in Alaska, but was never charged due to insufficient evidence. Kristy Marie Siple was 35 years old and lived in Columbus, Georgia. She was also known as Kristy Hoskins. She was Kamarie's mother but had lost custody due to drug abuse. Russell County Department of Human Resources had received reports about her drug use and awarded custody to Kamarie's father. Williams and Siple knew each other and were in a relationship. These cases take days to research and investigate. Your support keeps this channel bringing you the full stories behind the headlines. Like this video and subscribe to help us continue. Despite the court order giving custody to Kamarie's father, Corey Holland Sr. had been allowing Siple to have contact with Kamarie. On the night of December 12, 2021, he allowed Kamarie to stay overnight with her mother at Siple's home on Bowman Street in Columbus. Kamarie was not supposed to be with her mother that night. According to court documents, Williams paid Siple $2,500 for access to her daughter. The agreement was that Kamarie would perform oral sex on him. Around midnight on December 12, Siple told police later, Kamarie went to sleep in her bed. At some point during the night, Williams arrived at the Bowman Street home. Cell phone tracking data showed Williams left Siple's residence, went to his own residence on Dozier Street in Columbus, and then drove to a vacant house on 15th Avenue in Phoenix City, Alabama, a house he had previously lived in. Williams took Kamarie Holland with him. At the abandoned house, Williams forced Kamarie to smoke methamphetamine. He then raped and sodomized her with a rope tied around her neck. He strangled her for approximately 15 minutes. He paused at one point from exhaustion before continuing. Williams recorded 6 videos of himself committing these acts on his cell phone. In one video, he accidentally dropped his phone. The camera flipped and captured his face. That's how investigators identified him. After Kamarie died, Williams raped her corpse. He recorded that too. An autopsy later revealed Kamarie had methamphetamine in her system. The cause of death was asphyxia due to ligature strangulation. The manner of death was homicide. Stories like this reach more people when you share them. Help us honor these victims by sharing this video with someone who follows true crime.
Siple, who also goes by the name Kristy Hoskins, was arrested today. Siple is being charged with felony murder and the death of her daughter. On December 15th, investigators were on the scene on Bowman Street searching the house Kamarie was reported missing from 2 days before. Multiple unmarked law enforcement vehicles could be seen as authorities spent several hours searching the home and removing evidence.
On the morning of December 13, 2021, around 6:15 a.m., Kristy Siple called Columbus police to report that Kamarie was missing. Siple told police she had gone to sleep around midnight with Kamarie in her bed. She woke up at 3 a.m., and Kamarie woke her. When Siple woke again around 5:50 a.m., Kamarie was gone, and the front door was open. Columbus police issued a critically missing person alert at 8:36 a.m. Police quickly identified Williams as a suspect. They had received a report just hours earlier, at 1:01 a.m. on December 13th, from a 31-year-old woman who said Williams had sodomized her between 6 and 10 p.m. on December 12th. The police report listed Williams' correct age and his Columbus address on Dozier Street. Columbus police notified Russell County authorities that Williams could be in the Phoenix City area. Meanwhile, a woman claiming to be Williams' wife showed up at his Dozier Street residence while police were executing a search warrant. She provided investigators with another address to check: the vacant house on 15th Avenue in Phoenix City. Sergeant Braden Dobbins and Sergeant Jane Edenfield went to the address. They found Kamarie Holland's body in the back of the house, covered by a tarp and insulation. Part of the rope was still around her neck. Body camera footage captured the moment they found her. Dobbins was clearly distraught. "We should have been out here hours ago," he said on the recording. Kamarie Holland was pronounced dead at 11:30 p.m. on December 13, 2021. That same night, authorities located Williams at the Bamboo Motel on Opelika Road in Phoenix City. He had been there approximately 30 minutes when officers arrived. Williams was arrested and charged with capital murder. His uncle was with him at the motel. The uncle was not believed to be an accessory to the crime. On December 28, 2021, 15 days after Kamarie's body was found, police arrested Kristy Siple and charged her with murder during kidnapping, murder during rape, murder during sodomy, and human trafficking. In February 2022, a Russell County grand jury indicted both Williams and Siple. Williams was indicted on capital murder of a child under 14, capital murder during kidnapping, capital murder during rape, capital murder during sodomy, producing child pornography, abusing a corpse, human trafficking, and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Siple was indicted on sex trafficking and 3 counts of felony murder. The indictment stated that Siple did agree with another person to pay her for having sexual intercourse and sodomy with her minor daughter, in exchange for a sum of U.S. currency. The corpse abuse and child pornography charges stated that Williams recorded himself raping and sodomizing Kamarie after her death. Russell County Circuit Judge David Johnson issued a gag order prohibiting those involved from discussing evidence publicly. Williams initially pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. 2 psychological evaluations found him mentally competent to stand trial. Williams later admitted in court that he was mentally competent when he killed Kamarie. On March 13, 2024, Williams and Siple both appeared in court for plea hearings. Siple pleaded guilty to human trafficking in exchange for a 20-year prison sentence. She agreed to testify against Williams. The murder charges against her were dropped as part of the plea agreement. Her attorney was Larry Cooper. Outside the courtroom, reporters asked District Attorney Rick Chancey whether people could fairly describe Siple as a monster for selling her child to Williams. Chancey stood silent for a moment. Then he quietly asked, "If you can't count on your mom, who can you count on?" Williams pleaded guilty that same day. He entered what's called a blind plea, or cold plea, meaning his attorneys made no deal with prosecutors regarding his sentence. Williams pleaded guilty to capital murder for causing Kamarie's death, capital murder during kidnapping, capital murder during rape, capital murder during sodomy, producing obscene material, abusing a corpse, human trafficking, and conspiracy to commit human trafficking. When Judge Johnson asked Williams why he was pleading guilty after acknowledging he could be executed, Williams replied, "To expedite the process." The judge asked whether he had a reason to expedite it. "No, sir," Williams said. "Under Alabama law, defendants cannot resolve murder cases carrying the death penalty by pleading guilty alone. A jury must find them guilty in a trial." Williams' guilty pleas would be used as evidence against him. Williams' trial began on April 8, 2024. The jury heard testimony from investigators who found Kamarie's body. They heard from the forensic pathologist who performed her autopsy and found methamphetamine in her system. They heard that Kamarie had trauma to her rectal and vaginal areas and that the cause of death was ligature strangulation. The jury was shown 6 videos from Williams' cell phone showing him raping Kamarie. The videos were not shown to reporters or the gallery, but the audio could be heard. Some jurors began to cry. Tissues were passed around. Sergeant Brad Evans testified that Williams dropped his phone during one video, and the camera flipped to show his face. That's how they identified him. The jury also heard testimony about another victim. A 6-year-old girl Williams had raped numerous times, in the summer of 2021, either at the 15th Avenue house or at a Phoenix City motel. Williams had threatened to have her sent to juvenile detention if she reported the abuse. Williams pleaded guilty to sodomy and sexual abuse in that case as well. Throughout the trial, Williams asked his attorneys not to object or ask questions. None of the witnesses were cross-examined. On April 12, 2024, the jury returned guilty verdicts on all counts. Kamarie's father, Kamarie Holland Sr., was in the courtroom. He said the verdicts were well-deserved. He told reporters, "Kamarie was too precious for what happened to her. I honestly want the death penalty for him. Kamarie's life was way worth more than his life." District Attorney Rick Chancey said, "I've seen gory things and I've seen brutal things, but watching somebody do something like that to a baby is a whole different level. I'll never get this case out of my mind. I never met Kamarie while she was alive, and I hate that's how I'm going to remember Kamarie from that video." On April 15, 2024, Judge David Johnson sentenced Jeremy Tremaine Williams to death on all 4 capital murder convictions. On March 27, 2026, the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals upheld Williams' conviction and death sentence. Shortly after that ruling, Williams formally requested to waive all remaining appeals. He asked the state to move forward with his execution as quickly as possible. A court-ordered competency evaluation found that Williams fully understands the consequences of waiving his legal rights. District Attorney Rick Chancey said, "I am doing everything I can to move this along to the end." The case now moves to the Alabama Supreme Court, which must issue a writ of execution before a date can be set. Then it goes to Governor K.I.V. to schedule an execution date. It could still take years. Williams is currently on death row at Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Alabama, the only institution in the state authorized to carry out executions. For $2,500, Kristy Siple sold her 5-year-old daughter to Jeremy Tremaine Williams. He raped, tortured, and strangled Kamarie Holland while recording everything on his cell phone. Williams was sentenced to death. He's now asking Alabama to execute him immediately. Siple got 20 years for sex trafficking. The murder charge was dropped.
Happy birthday, Princess. Daddy will always love you just as I did before. I talk about you every single day I get a chance to. And just know you'll always be in my heart, little girl.
This is Beyond Guilty. Please subscribe.